Hey moguls, it's Dr. T here, and I'm coming to you with some mogul upgrades today so you can mogul on up into a more amazing mogul reality. And today the focus is how you can use the worst experiences you've ever had in order to grow the most and become the most powerful. Now, this is certainly a game changer for anyone that feels like they go through things. Those things are like life is happening, things get in the way, you feel like your progress is thwarted, there's, an issue, there's something that just feels like it's stopping you. This is a game changer, how to turn your worst experiences into something that makes you more powerful. All right, number one, we've got to understand that our worst experiences are being created from 2 or 3 different ways. Number one, the universe, the creator, the source, however you want to refer to it, has an evolutionary program that is running, that is creating reality. That programming is coming in every single moment of every day. It is coming in through neutrinos, which are bits of energy, and those come through your human design system. If you don't know what your human design system is, you can learn about it on one of my websites, theempirecompany.com/human design. You can learn what yours is, and that'll help you make a shift in understanding how reality really works. So these messages, information, navigation, creation is coming in through these neutrino pieces of energy. They come into your human design system. They try to send you in a particular direction for creating a new next level of reality. Unfortunately, because humans are constantly being programmed by uh, more of the man-made programming versus what the universe is trying to give you and send you in this great direction to create the next greatest reality we can have. Humans are interacting with each other, taking in bad programming. And if you're hanging out with anybody that is in low frequency, that is going nowhere fast, that isn't addressing their issues, that is sick but not getting well, that is struggling and not creating solutions, you will absorb their reality. And even though the universe is trying to send you on a particular track for a particular upgrade and creation, you are receiving countless other people's reality, and particularly the ones closest to you that come into your system and program it. And you will then keep experiencing reality that is not what you're intending or what the universe intends for you, because it is always trying to create the next best reality for all of us. If you are taking in a low reality from people in your immediate circle, immediate relationships, all the stuff that is in your field, reality field, you will literally, it's like taking in that reality and then it'll just keep reproducing itself. And you'll just keep going in cycles where the worst things happen to you only because you are taking them in. If you are in a shitty neighborhood, a shitty zip code, if you are in a shitty state, area, location, political system, etc., the more potential you have to take in that reality where people suck at what they're doing, aren't even trying, don't even care, and are driving us into a wall, let's just say, or into destruction or whatever it is. You are then a receiver of that reality instead of more fully receiving the one that the great source of all evolution and creation has and is trying to get you to go on the right track. So if you do end up experiencing many things that are super challenging, difficult, and the worst things for you, you can still make a shift and you can use the method, which is the method that was downloaded to me many, many years ago through that creative source, creating all creation. You can make a commitment to something that is very important, which is your intentions for the future. And you can make a pattern shift into a new reality through intentionality and make what we call an upgrade. These are all transformational techniques and language from my transformational company, the International Moguls Club and the Empire Company, which does all kinds of transformational programs, turning people into moguls of empires and dynasties and higher level realities, legends, legacy making people, and people who are here to be world class. And I hope that you are. If you are experiencing a reality that you feel is one of those, like, the worst things happening to you, it is essential that you begin to connect first and foremost to your intentions. So you could say something to yourself like, this is the worst. And we would say, well, what do we want to put in its place? And we might say the best. We might say the highest. We might say a gift. We might say whatever we want. These intentions are yours. So if we can understand that our programming that is coming in from all the man-made programming is getting in the way and interfering with the higher level programming that evolution is trying to bring you through and upgrade you with, you have to replace that programming. And that programming is about bringing you to a higher level of reality through intentionality. So the good news is the higher, the harder the issue, the more intense it is, the more power you have to shift it into a new creation where you are more powerful. So say it is one of the worst things you can imagine. It is so brutal. It is so difficult. The good news is it's full of power. The more intense it is, the more that intensity can be used for creating intentionally. So I'll give you an example. I once had an experience where when this is what's coming to mind right now. When my dad passed, his fourth wife, who was a gold digger and a manipulator and probably killed him through poisoning him, fact, she did all kinds of things to make it so I really couldn't even receive even a little token of anything that my dad once owned, a shirt, uh, a sock, a watch, just anything. She made it so that basically she put her money grubbing hands on everything, and basically every single thing that he had ever had of any sort of sentimental value that I would have wanted some little piece of, a paperweight, a trophy, something like that. And she invalidated my very existence and just kept everything for herself. I had an experience of absolutely like murderous rage. So I felt feelings that I have never even contemplated could flow through my body. However, I was trained in this method that's been given to me by the great creator of all things. And I knew that I needed to take that energy of that intensity and literally the feeling of like murder or murderous rage. And if we just feel like, even though I'm not wired to do things to people like that, and it wouldn't be ever my way of being, I'm the opposite. I turn everything into something good. I felt that. And what I decided was that I was going to take that feeling of like murder. Like, I just wanted to absolutely strangle her. Strangle her, murder, all sounds very similar to me. What I really want was just to have something of my dad's to transition with, like a transitional object. But I was having that kind of deep, visceral, primal type of intense reaction. I was in shock. I was in PTSD. And yet my training kicked in, fortunately. And I was able to ask myself, what is it that I am intending? And because I felt so powerless, I wanted to take that feeling of like I want to strangle her or murder, just a feeling. And I decided I'm going to create more power. So right in place of strangle her is power, in place of murder is power. And I decided that I was going to turn that into the greatest transformational opportunity I'd ever experienced for myself, my team, and my clients. I can still feel it right now. And I decided I was going to use the intensity of that feeling to become more and more and more powerful. So I just kept saying to myself, in place of murder is power. In place of strangle her is power. And with every fiber of my being, I just kept connecting to the intentions. More power, more power, more capacity, more power to harness this awful, terrible feeling and experience for the betterment of more people. It was like receiving a massive firestorm upon me and redirecting it to do something. It'd be like, say the fire is going to burn everything down destructively, and you go, I'm going to harness this fire directed toward a controlled burn that creates a new place for planting, whatever they do with these controlled burns. So that feeling of murder got turned into power, and I had one of the greatest years of my life off of the heels of the worst intense experience I'd ever had. I took something like the feeling of invalidation, where some strange woman, fourth wife person decided that, in the scope of things, I meant nothing and I couldn't even have a transitional object. I kept saying, like, can I have a sock? Can I have a t-shirt that has a smell on it? This is my father. I can now say it and I don't have any level of murder in there because I'm in my power. And I felt the concept of being invalidated or invalidation. And I also said to myself, what do I want to do with this feeling of invalidation? And like the corresponding other feeling I already described. And I was like, I'm going to turn this into total inspiration for why we all need to live out our greatest intentions. So I went, invalidation becomes inspiration. And also I took it to the next level, which is invalidation becomes transformation, right? Invalidation becomes creation. And I just kept replacing it and telling it's like a new code in the new website that you're creating, new building blocks. And the more something sounds like the other thing, the more your body can accept it. And now it's like, oh, you're going to take invalidation. I'm going to just see that. And I'm going to do inspiration, transformation, and creation. Inspiration, transformation, and creation. And I was able to use the power of that awful feeling, deeply soul damaging, and to shift it from damaging into inspiration, transformation, creation, and created some of the greatest things I've ever created. I created, I think, my third or second, maybe my second book that year that became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. I had created a new podcast, the Elevate Your Life podcast, which I did like 40 to 50 episodes. And I'm now starting a new one. I took that feeling and I transformed it. And because it was so powerful, the energy was so powerful that I actually took the worst type of experiences and gained more power. And I'm here to have you do that too. So my invitation for you is to take, just describe whatever the most awful feeling is that you're having at this time, the worst experience you can possibly have. And you're going to name it. You're going to say, it's this, it's that, it's invalidation, it's crisis, whatever it is, loss, confusion. Say it was crisis. All right, let's take that one. I'd say, what do I want in place of a crisis? And what's coming to me right now is, let's build this. Let's build this. It's like, oh, you're coming in to give me some new opportunity. Let's build this thing. Okay, so you can take whatever it is that is the worst of the worst that you can fathom is happening, name what it is, and start to put the replacement intention in and start to recode your reality. Okay, moguls, this is one of the ways that you transform the worst thing into the most power you can possibly gain from it. And there's more where that came from. This channel is full of transformational upgrades. I really invite you to immerse in order to support more transformational upgrades coming to you. It'd be amazing for you to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you would like to see more of, what would be beneficial to you, because we're in a relationship where I'm supporting you and you are collaborating and helping me know more of what that will actually look like for you and how I can best help you elevate your life, help you upgrade and become the very mogul you that can create so intentionally that you don't end up in those worst case scenarios, those worst things. If you have never gotten your human design yet, please go to theempirecompany.com/human design. There's also links in this description to take you there. Find out what your purpose is all about, because you'll go in the direction of your own trajectory for your purpose more easily and start getting out of situations that you don't belong in anyway. The truth is, I should have never even been in that situation, just using my own example, because when my dad married this person, I ultimately did not feel that this was someone I should be spending any time with. I don't think she was the right fit for me. Somebody can, want that, but that's not what's right for me. And then I ended up being in a scenario where the person could even do that to me. But had I said, this is off, you may be choosing this person, but I don't choose her, that's not what I'm creating in my intentional reality, then you don't go on these wrong tracks and end up in experiences that are not correct for you, and you align with the ones that are. Okay, so great job doing this upgrade, transforming the worst things into the best for more growth, more power, more prosperity, and more mogul level reality. Thank you for tuning in, moguls, and I'll see you next time. Take care.